Old saying, if you're not getting hung up, you're not where the fish are.
Cerrato thinks scented attractants improve his catch rates.
Fish in this clear water, you know, they're primarily like sight feeding fish. So, my opinion, the scent gets the human smell off the bait, and the more natural it is, the more effective it's going to be. So to me, it's keeping that human scent, because every time you touch something, your hands are oily. If you touch glass, you see your fingerprints. Well, you're leaving that on the bait too, and if it masks the human scent, to me, the better opportunity for a hookup.
Put all these tips together, and you have the makings of a great day of smallmouth fishing.
Yeah, feeling better. You, my man, are catching a good thing. Here you go. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. Good. Well, you're all on one side of the boat.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now that was a lot of fun. It's a good show when Trey gets to catch them. That means I'm videoing.
Hey, and I appreciate that because I sure did enjoy catching that big fish there.
Special thanks to Bill Cerrato there and Window World for sponsoring the show and taking us fishing. Hey, you stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to go to the fish hatchery and show you all about how we stock these things in Arkansas's lakes and rivers.
Talkin Outdoors, brought to you in part by Zimmerman Sports Center, Little Rock's largest live bait dealer.
Hey, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that segment. Smallmouth fishing on Greer's Ferry Lake. Who'd have thunk it, Trey?
Well, Greer's Ferry is a great place to go smallmouth fishing. We got a lot of good places to go smallmouth fishing in Arkansas. Greer's Ferry, Beaver. Trying to get a smallmouth fishery established on Lake Ouachita right now. Of course, all the great streams we talked about, a lot of them in North Arkansas, over in the Ouachita River above the lake, the Caddo River. Ouachita River down below the lake's got some smallmouth too. So.
My favorite thing about smallmouth is that they fight so good.
Boy,
I mean, those things are real fighters, and it did help to have Bill there because Bill had been there before. He kind of had some areas scouted out for us.
He had what the pro bass fishermen like to call a milk run, where like the milkman goes to all the stops. That's what Bill had. He had several little places,
but he had done his homework.
We had caught fish off of every one of them.
Exactly.
Though, I think.
All right, let's talk a little bit about stocking. You're talking about we do have smallmouth in all those places. We're trying to get them started in Lake Ouachita. I went over to our fish hatchery over in Hot Springs on Lake Hamilton, and we actually have some brood stock in some of those ponds over there.
We propagate smallmouth to stock in a lot of the state's waters, but this is a little bit different project. These are Tennessee strain. The world record smallmouth is from Dale Hollow Lake in Tennessee. We're taking broodstock from Tennessee, raising them in this ponds. They're, we're getting the fingerlings here and trying to get a Tennessee strain smallmouth fishery established in Lake Ouachita.
So we put the broodstock in here a while back and let them spawn, and
That's
now
right.
we're going in here. Our guys are over at our hatchery and seining them out. You can see some of the broodstock,
This
I think,
kind
here in a
of
minute.
shows you what hard work it is to raise fish. You don't just throw some big fish in a pond and get little fish out. A lot of care has to be given. You know, you see them with these buckets here. They have the bucket brigade going on where they take them up to the truck, but they weigh all those buckets with the water and then weigh them, you know, without the fish. And they can tell, you know, by that weight how many fish we got out of the ponds. It's a mathematical formula there that's way beyond you and me, Wildman. But you know,
Let me tell you what, I was over there that day. It was hot, and I sure wouldn't want to have been in those waders down in that mud.
That's why we've got these great biologists here.
They do a great job for us. This is at our hatchery over at Hot Springs.
Right. Now these fish are coming. They'll go in the truck there over to Lake Washita, and I believe we've stocked over the past 8 or 10 years about roughly 100,000 a year.
Wow.
I think, and so that's part of one project. Now we stock smallmouth in a lot of different lakes. Again, you know, smallmouth are native to Arkansas, so it's, you know, not any kind of exotic fish or anything, but growing them out and getting them in some of these places where they haven't been, Beaver Lake and the Greers Ferry, those fish we caught, those are the results of stockings that Game and Fish has done over the years.
Now, I wonder, do we stock the creeks as well, or are they just kind of naturally supplied in our creeks and rivers?
I think a lot of it's natural reproduction, but there is some stockings.
Saline River, I know we do the Saline River.
Right, there's some stockings at lots of different places. You know, we haven't just, you know, some of these bigger lakes and reservoirs like Greers Ferry, Bull Shoals, and now Washita are part of a special project, but there's spotty stocking of smallmouth in some other places because people love to catch them, as you alluded to earlier. They're quite the fighter.
All right, if people out there today wanted to go this weekend, Monday's a holiday, you sent them to Greers Ferry, whatever. Some of the baits we were using there, you alluded to a little bit, but probably took a tube jig, and he had some of that. What was that special formula he had?
The smelly jelly is what he was
Smelly
using.
jelly.
And, you know, that works. There's some other attractants out there. But I'm like Bill. I mean, I'm not sure, especially in these clear water lakes, if that really helps you catch fish. I think what it does is, like he said, it masks that human scent. You know, you touch your motor and get some oil or some gasoline. Or what, you know,
that's true
the fibers
fishing for anything,
on your
though.
boat carpet or whatever, you know, anything that masks that human scent is going to help. But yeah, we were using a 3.5-inch tube jig, and he uses an exposed hook with a lead head and just puts that up inside, pushes the eye through. You're going to get hung up a lot, as you saw in that video.
I started to say, I guarantee you we kept him busy. I know I lost 20 or 30 baits, but he, like he said, hey, if you're not losing hooks, you're not fishing in the right place, because those big rocks, look for that gravel. I mean, it's a habitat thing, isn't it?
It is. And I tell you, another great bait for smallmouth is a shaky head, a little jig head with a little 4 or 6-inch worm on it. That's another fantastic bait. They'll bite a lot of the same things largemouth will. I mean, you can catch them on jerk baits and spinner baits and what have you, but I've always had better luck, particularly with anything that mimics a crawfish, because that's a huge part of a smallmouth.
You got to think like a fish. And again, I think the biggest one we caught was, what, maybe 2.5, 2 3/4 pounds?
Yeah, the one that I was holding up there at the end of the segment, I think.
I got that in there for him. I wanted him to know. I caught more, but you probably caught the biggest.
Well, it was a phenomenal day of fishing.
It was.
And it was really a great experience to kind of learn a little bit about lake fishing for smallmouth on Greers Ferry.
And a special thanks to Bill for taking us,
Bill,
Win the World, for sponsoring the show. And it doesn't get any better than that. A guy sponsors your show and takes you fishing.
Yeah, we need to go back soon.
All right, let's do it. Thanks again.
Thank you, Wildman.
You stay where you are. We'll come back. We'll wrap the show up right after this break.
Talkin Outdoors is brought to you in part by Farmers Association, now with 3 locations, Little Rock, Benton, and Cabot.